What's up, YouTube, and welcome to my pickups video for the month of September 2020. As has been the case with the last few months, travel has been pretty limited still, but I did manage to get away at the beginning of the month over Labor Day weekend and visit the city of Louisville. I also made a video of a couple arcades that I visited there called Rec Bar. You can check out that video if you haven't already. Did a tour of one of the two locations. Got a few things in Louisville, but not really a ton. I think just overall, the stores were pretty picked over just from everybody being cooped up and not a whole lot of games hitting the market right now. Surely been the case locally here as well, and really just haven't found a whole lot this month. So this pickups video is going to be a bit smaller than the last few have been. What I also will say that has been occupying my time is I have another pickup that I am going to get this weekend, and it is of the four-wheeled kind. It is German, it is from the 80s, and it's something I've always wanted to own. So very excited to get this certain something, and may make a video of that for people that have car interests as well down the line. But that being said, let's go ahead and get started with the games I did pick up this month. Overall, like I said, it's not a whole lot, but some things that I definitely wanted on my list and some things that I didn't even know it existed. So kind of a fun little mix there. First one of these is a PS1 game that I was aware of, but really hadn't given too much time or interest into. A certain somebody that represents a religious figure mentioned this as a diamond in the rough, if you will, on his channel, and that is Steel Harbinger. This is kind of a very strange homage to B-movies and science fiction, I guess, by Mindscape. Came out very early in the PS1 library after the switch to jewel cases, so I think it was like a 1996 era release. It sparked my interest, definitely seeing it in his video. I think it was the one game featured that I didn't own, so I figured, with my PS1 library, it's something I might as well just go ahead and track down. Of course, this game has spiked in price over the last month with that mention that he gave it, and I was able to find it locally for a store that was unaware and obviously hadn't adjusted the price. So happy to get this. That being said, I've been playing the other games that I'm going to show you a lot and haven't really got a chance to even dig into this one at all. So I will be playing this one soon to see what all the hype's about, and I guess, now that it's been uncovered, we'll see if it's truly as worthy as claimed. So that being said, something to dig into soon. Did pick up one of the Neo Geo CD titles that I've been really wanting. Really just this is one that took a while to get a good price on. Seems to come up fairly often, but overall is just, just kind of up there in price for what it is. And that is Burning Fight. This is an excellent beat-em-up. Neo Geo CD really just has a nice selection of these early MDS games that were beat-em-ups that they brought to the CD format. This was, I think, like a 1991 release for the arcade, and I can tell you if I had played this in the arcade in 91, I probably would have been pretty blown away by this. Very much in the vein of like a Final Fight type of game. I think it was heavily inspired by that, kind of SNK's response to it. You have 3 playable characters to choose from. The stages have a nice mix of variety to them. Tons of weapons you can pick up, including some pretty interesting ones. A lot of interactive environments, which I think is pretty cool. Like you can beat up soda machines and cars and all these different things along the way. Even more so than you saw in the typical beat 'em up of the time. So I think it kind of makes it a little bit unique for a game of this genre. Nice big sprites, really just kind of something the system was known for. And I think really represents well for an early, arcade beat 'em up of the early 90s. So I can highly recommend this one. If you're looking for a cheaper way to play this, this is on the SNK Collection Volume 1 that's on the Wii and the PS2. Ultimately, I just wanted the better looking version on the original hardware, so to say. But really am enjoying this game and glad I'm digging into it a little bit further. So happily would recommend this to somebody looking for something interesting on your Neo Geo CD. I would say it's one of the better beat-em-ups on the system. The other one I'm going to show you for game pickups is something I just got in the mail today and have been playing it up until I made this video. I was completely unaware of one of the titles that is on this arcade game collection until GameSack just made their video this last weekend about all the Sega Ages releases. So this is one that is Japanese exclusive. It is the Sega Ages Memorial Selection Volume 2. And what's interesting about this is I had Volume 1, and I've owned that for many years for a couple of the games that interested me on that package, but for some reason I just never gave this one much of a look. What is so exciting about that video that Joe from GameSack made this last weekend is this game features a game that I was about to pull the trigger on buying the arcade board on and had no idea there was ever a proper arcade version of this game for the home. So that game is Sega's Ninja Princess, which is also known as the Ninja on Master System. They did some changes with characters and things like that, but it's roughly the same game as the arcade game Ninja Princess. Very excellent, very difficult, top-down ninja action game. Kind of has some similarities to some games of the era, such as the original Kiki Kai Kai, Gunsmoke, and even some similarities to the Shinobi series with how the stage layout is built. Overhead gameplay, like I said, not side-scrolling, but very, very fun and incredibly difficult. What I like about the game is it has a nice stealth aspect to it. So one of the buttons, it actually lets you disappear for a moment, and that really helps you with dodging the tons of ninja stars and things that are being thrown at you throughout the game. It's incredibly difficult, like I said, but it's very rewarding to play, and it just has that classic arcade feel that makes you want to keep trying to do better with it. So for that alone, I could recommend this collection. I got very lucky. There was a seller in the United States that actually was only one state away and got this to me in like 2 days. So worked out very well that I was able to get this on eBay and get it very quickly because I was hot on the trail for this after watching that video over the weekend. The compilation does have some other games on the collection. They're okay. I mean, I think I played through a little bit of them today as well. It has a very early arcade game called Samurai, which is crude but fun. I think Joe had a very similar impression to that. It has some other games on it. There's a shooter called Starjacker that's decent but uninspired. It does have the arcade version of Penguin Land, which is a game that I do like on the Master System, but overall I think I prefer the home version of that on the Master System better than the arcade original. It's got Monaco GP, which many people are probably familiar with Super Monaco GP on the Genesis. This is a much earlier arcade game and very different in style to that one, but is okay, and I had played it in the arcade before, so I can give it a little bit of respect. It has a puzzle action game called Sinbad. It's kind of like a Pac-Man style game with some twists to it and things like that. It's okay. But overall, I like this for the Ninja Princess being part of the collection, and ultimately it saved me a few $100s because it's a very rare arcade board to get, and I was, again, considering making an offer on one very soon, so I don't think I need to do that. This is, as far as I'm concerned, as closest to the arcade as I need. I was introduced to the game in an arcade in Little Rock, Arkansas about a year ago, and ultimately I played it more than anything else in the whole arcade, so if you've never checked it out, again, I think for that one game alone, this compilation's worth getting. The first one's pretty good too. It has some other games on it that, like Flicky and Head On, and I'm trying to think what the other like Pinnacle release was that's on it. But it's worth it for, a few of the titles in there. So happy these early Sega Ages collections exist. They're not as fancy as some of the later ones that came because they're featuring primarily early 80s Sega games, but still some decent stuff to find. So that, believe it or not, that is all the games I got this month. And I think that's the lowest game count you'll ever see on my channel, hopefully. But I did get some other game-related stuff that I also was looking for. So most of the rest of this is stuff that I found on that Louisville trip. The first one of these is a NES box that I've been looking for forever. It's one that I really wanted in my collection. Just keep missing out on decent prices on this, and also just I think some have just been condition beat up that I didn't want them. But that is the Captain America and the Avengers. Obviously a character that is probably much more popular now than when this game was released. And I think this is really a neat game in the series because it is not the same as the arcade Captain America and the Avengers that got so many console ports around this era. This one is a unique adventure specifically for the NES, and ultimately looks and plays pretty well. I don't think it's like a top-tier NES release, but definitely one you can't go wrong with. The artwork on this is pretty cool. One of my friends commented that it's ruined by this black box outline of the Captain America logo. It's kind of not the best look, but overall, pretty nice box design. You get this nice bright yellow on the sides and everything too. So it really stands out on the shelf, and ultimately I think, this is a franchise you can't go wrong with that continues to be popular to this day. So very happy to have this in my NES collection. Ultimately I had to end up buying this as a box and cartridge combo, and then I sold off my spare cartridge, and I'm definitely going to keep this. I already had the manual for it, so nice complete copy. Frankenstein together over time. Also some things I'm Frankensteining together over time is NES games with manuals, so I got some more manuals off my want list this month. I think this actually took me under 200 left that I need. So, you know, considering the size of the NES library, that's probably about 450 or so that I have, which is pretty good. So I got the rest of these also as part of that Louisville trip. There was a very small mom and pop store that was kind of like more of a toy store than a video game store, but they had quite a few video games. It's an older couple that ran it. They were nice, but kind of unusual. They had almost everything locked up in glass cases. And when I asked to take a look at the manuals, they were in this huge tub. They like kind of just wanted to watch me like a hawk and were looking over my shoulder the whole time I was flipping through hundreds and hundreds of manuals. So more power to them. I wasn't about to pull anything funny. Maybe I look suspicious, but whatever. And regardless, they gave me a good deal on them, so I'm not going to complain too much. So first one of these I got is the very rad artwork on Rollerblade Racer. Rollerblades were definitely not ever my thing, but you know, they were definitely a hot fad in the early 90s, so obviously a game was needed for that. Another one is Cycross, I think is how you pronounce this. I believe it was an early Nichibutsu arcade game that was brought to the NES. One that I always like the artwork on, probably more so than the actual gameplay, is Adventure of Dino Riki. Very great early Hudson Soft art, and wish it was as good as, you know, like I say, the artwork is. I still need a box for this one too. I think this would be one that I would also like to add the box to my collection, but definitely have owned the game itself for a long time. Next we have a very early Atlas title, and that is Golf Grand Slam. You think about all the great titles that Atlas has brought to us over the year. This is probably not one of the ones that would come to mind. So, a very forgettable golf game that is part of the many golf games on the NES. The only thing interesting about this one is it has this large format manual, almost like a Super Nintendo manual for it, that a few of the NES games have, but usually they were RPGs that had this style manual. And then the last manual I got from the same store was one that is kind of a curiosity for the Super Nintendo. Truly one of the most awful games of all time that I've played and own, and that is Bebe's Kids, which was based on a failed movie, and maybe there was a cartoon that kind of led up to the movie, I'm not sure. An animated movie that did very poorly, and the game itself is, wow, it's truly a, something to behold by a publisher that never put out any other games after it, as far as I know. So that about does it. Like I said, short video, very few pickups for the month, and I will be picking up my four-wheeled object here very soon, and hopefully we'll be able to show that to you in the coming weeks. Really just want to take a moment also and thank all my new subscribers. I noticed over the last month I had kind of a nice jump in subscriber count. I'm not really sure what that was attributed to, but if you are new to my channel, welcome, and you should probably also show yourself, so please leave a comment, let me know what you thought of the video. Also looking for some input from everybody that does loyally watch my videos. If there's a specific type of video I make that you'd like to see more of, I'm open to some feedback on that, because I'm kind of trying to decide where I want to take my channel next. Got quite a few other things in the game collection I can show, but, you know, just want to make sure it's content that interests people. So please let me know. Take a moment, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great day or night, wherever you are.